So this is the polar bear chocolate orange design. So we're going to take 150 grams of fondant and we're going to sort of make it into a little cup, and then we're going to pop the chocolate orange into the middle. And we smoosh up the fondant up over the chocolate orange until we get to the top. Just do this gently, you don't want the chocolate melting onto your thumbs. And then once we're all the way up to the top, and just start to close that hole, and the fondant will all come together. It'll look a little bit untidy to begin with, but we'll sort that out in just a second. And there we go. So that's the fondant ball now. And then we're going to just stick this to the board. So we're going to make the bottom of this orange sticky, not wet. If it's wet, it slides about all over the place. And with a blob of fondant, just a touch of corn flour on it, just so it's not sticky, because we don't want it sticking to the orange. Just smooth it over, and it'll actually smooth the surface of the fondant without you having to get finger marks, etc. in there. There we go. So this is his head. This is 60 grams of fondant. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to get the back of it sticky and then just pop it against his body. And then flatten it slightly, not too much, just a little bit, so he's not got a big head just sticking out there at the front. And then this is the recess for the snout. So we've got a tool here, a ball tool, doing that. You can do this with fingers if you don't have these tools. And then these are the sockets for the eyes. So look a little bit funny here. And you can also do this with, with a finger or tools that you might have at home, if it's just for practice. So these are the legs. Each leg is 15 grams. So this is a 60 gram block of fondant. We're rolling it, cutting it in half and doing the same again. So we've got 4 legs. So then we're just going to taper the end off. That's the bit that's going to sit underneath the orange. And then the part where the foot goes, we're just going to squidge in with one thumb and then shove back with the other, just on the top, so the back end surface is flat and we're sort of creating that little foot shape. It's kind of like an ankle and a foot. There we go. And then we need to repeat that another 3 times on the other pieces. So we've got 4 little legs. There we go. And then this next bit, we're just going to make little dips on the bottom of the foot for the pads. Again, we're using a ball tool, but you can use your fingers for this. I'm going to do 1 dip for the big part of the pad and then a smaller ball for the toes. And then again, we're going to repeat that another 3 times on the other feet. And then in each of these little dips, we're going to just get them sticky again. And then we're going to add just little balls of pink coloured fondant. We're going to roll a bigger one, obviously, for the bigger part. And then 3 little ones for the little bits, the little toes. And then they're just going to sit into those holes. So we'll pop that one in and press it down until we don't want it flush. We want it to look like it's kind of popping out a little bit. And then again with these 3, the little toes. That one. And the last one. And then we've got a completed foot there, and then repeat again. Oh, so here, this is where I'm just showing you how to make a foot without the paw pads. So if you didn't want to do the feet all sitting up and showing the sole of the foot, this is just so you can do, maybe just do the front paws like this and the back ones with the pads, or and do all 4 like that. It's a little bit easier, it's cute too. So we're finishing off these other paw pads. This is probably the most time consuming part of this little fella. And then we're nearly done. Last one. And then we'll bring him forward in a second and we'll start attaching all these legs. So, two at the front. You just sort of pop them in where you think they will look cute, and then use your brush again just to get them sticky and pop them under his body. So this is going to be his little tail. It's just a little bobble of fondant. We just made a little recess with a ball tool and we popped the blob on. Dead easy. And same with his snout. I'm just going to wet that little recess, pop his snout in, and then press it down again because we don't want it protruding too far. So we're just flattening it out a little bit. And then this is for his nose. So we're making a little recess for his nose, almost like an oval shape. And then we're going to go in there with a little peachy coloured piece of fondant. I always eyeball these little balls for the recesses. And then just kind of make those up as we go along. Sometimes they're too big, sometimes they're too small. Just nip a little bit off or add a little bit. There we go. Push it down a little bit. Again, we don't want it sticking right too far out. And these are the ears. So we take a ball of fondant, use the ball tool, and then and just dip into the middle and then sort of go slightly elongated. There we go. And then in there we're going to add some pink fondant and just get it wet, sticky. Pop your little slightly sausage shaped piece of fondant in there, and then we're going to flatten that down and just make it kind of flush with the white fondant. We don't want that protruding. There we go, with the help of the ball tool. Then we cut it in half, so we've got 2 ears. There we go. And then again, we're just going to get the edge of this sticky and pop that against his head. If you put it quite low down to the side of his head and not too high up, they look dead cute. There we go. And then we'll go the same with the other one. There we are. He's coming together now. So then this is the eyes next. So I'm just going in with a ball of black fondant. And again, I'm just eyeballing this, literally. So we'll pop that in, flatten it out flush to his face. Black fondant is notoriously sticky, so go easy. You can use a tool for this as well. And then we'll do the same at the other side. There we go. Get that flattened out too. And then next up, we're just going to make some little dips. So we need little flashes of light in the bear's eyes. So we're just going to do a larger dip in towards the right, and then one a little bit further in towards other right, and then one in the middle. Yeah, there we go. Then to fill those little flashes of light, we're just tapering this fondant to a tiny point so we can create a tiny white ball. And then those little balls are going to go into those recesses within the eye. So the higher dip we've put in the eye is the bigger dot, and the lower one towards the middle is the smaller dot. And it makes a huge difference putting this little bit of light in their eyes. It just gives them a bit more life. Makes them look a bit awake and alive. There we go. Last bit. And that one in there. These are just little dips for his eyebrows. Just give him a bit more character, a bit of expression. And then we're going in with the hat. So this is 15 grams, around 15 grams. So I'm just tapering that ball of fondant into a bit of a cone. And then I'm just going to keep working at it until I'm happy with the width of the base of the hat and the tip. And then we're going to stick that onto his head. I like that shape. There we go. And then I'm just going to, with the back of the Dresden tool, again, if you've not got a tool, you can use like a cocktail stick. We're just going to go in and just make some visible creases and bend the hat over slightly. There we go. And then just nip that end. So we're going to sit a bobble there. This is the trim of the hat. So just roll a long thin sausage, wet the edge of the hat, then wrap the sausage around. So we're going to just nip that bit off, nip the other bit of excess off, and then we're going to fluff this with the tip of the Dresden tool. Again, you can use a toothpick for this, all the way around. I'm going to speed up in a second. There we go. You don't have to do this bit, you can leave it plain. It doesn't need to be fluffy. I just like the contrast against his flat fur. And then the bobble of the hat, it's just a little round ball of fondant. I'm going to sit that on the sticky tip of the hat. And again, we're just going to fluff it, the same as we did with the trim. And that's your little bear. All done.